87,000. I said it flat, staring at the separation statement. My voice didn't shake. That surprised me. Patricia, the HR director, blinked. I'm sorry, Maya, what? September. October. November. I tapped the paper. Gross pay, 29,000 per month. Net pay, I pulled out my phone and slid it across the table. Bank statement, clean and cold. 0. For 3 months. Patricia's smile froze for half a second. Then she leaned back, folded her hands, and did that thing where she looked at me like I was a child who'd misread a menu. There's been a financial review. Payroll is reconciling. You'll get your final check when it's done. I didn't move. 3 years. 3 years I'd been at this place. 3 years of 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., weekends, holiday coverage, and never once a complaint. They fired me this morning, position elimination, they called it, and now they wanted me to walk away with nothing. Reconciling, I repeated. For 3 months. These things take time. Patricia, I'm not an employee anymore. I picked up my phone, tapped the record button, and set it down face up. I'm a creditor. And you owe me $87,000. Her face went tight. You're recording this? Is that a problem? Company policy. Company policy doesn't override state law. I pulled out a folder. Pay stubs, bank statements, the signed offer letter with my salary. I laid them out like evidence in a trial. September 15th, gross 29,000, net 0. October 15th, same. November 15th, same. 3 months. Not 1 cent. Patricia stared at the papers. Then at the phone. Then at me. Maya, let's be reasonable. I am being reasonable. I'm asking for what I'm owed. Finance is verifying. Verifying what? I stood up. That I worked? That I have a contract? That your system somehow forgot to pay me for a quarter of a year? I leaned in. You have 3 days. After that, I filed with the labor board. I walked out before she could answer. In the hallway, my hands were shaking. Not fear. Adrenaline. 3 years of being the reliable one, the one who never complained, the one who stayed late and fixed other people's messes. And they tried to erase me like I never existed. I got to the elevator and the doors opened to 2 colleagues. They saw me, saw the folder, saw my face. Maya? You okay? Fired. Today. I stepped in. Don't worry about it. They exchanged glances. Nobody spoke. I walked out of the building, got on the subway, and sat staring at the black tunnel walls. The number kept replaying in my head. 87,000. That was 8 months of rent. That was my student loan balance. That was the down payment on the small house I'd been saving for since I was 22. They didn't just fire me. They tried to steal from me. And they thought I wouldn't fight back. I called my lawyer friend, David, the second I got home. David, I need you. Shoot. Fired today. No severance. No pay for 3 months. He went silent for 2 beats. 3 months. 3 months. They can't do that. I know. I have evidence. Pay stubs, bank statements, the contract. I recorded HR telling me to wait. Good. Send it all to me. And don't sign anything. I won't. But after I hung up, I felt the weight of it. The fight. The time. The uncertainty. They had a legal team. I had a phone full of screenshots. I started pulling every file I could find. Old emails. Timesheets. Performance reviews. I built a timeline month by month, year by year. And then I noticed something. August. My pay had been short by $200. I'd assumed it was a tax adjustment. July, same. June. Another 200. Going back 6 months, there were small deductions I'd never questioned. Tiny amounts, easily missed, easily explained away. But they added up. I pulled out a notebook and wrote down every discrepancy. By midnight, I had a list of 12 pay periods with unexplained shortfalls. Not huge, not obvious, but consistent. Like someone had been shaving pennies off every check, hoping no one would notice. I called David again. There's more. They've been underpaying me for months. Small amounts. But it's a pattern. Pattern means intent. That's good for us. Good how? Intent changes the game. Accident is one thing. Pattern is fraud. I sat back. Fraud. That word changed everything. The next morning, I went back to the office to collect my personal things. I knew it would be awkward. I didn't expect to find a note taped to my keyboard. Asterisk, check the old server logs. You're not the only one. Asterisk. No signature. No name. Just the note. I looked around. The office was quiet. A few people glanced at me and looked away. My team was gone. Most of them had been laid off in the last 2 months. The only familiar face was Laura, a junior analyst I'd trained. She was staring at her screen, not looking up. I slipped the note into my pocket and grabbed my mug, my plant, the framed photo of my sister's dog. As I passed Laura's desk, she whispered without moving her lips, "Check the shared drive. Folder called Garden." Then she went back to typing. I didn't stop. I walked out, took the stairs, and sat in my car with the note and Laura's cryptic message. What did I have to lose? That night, I logged into my old VPN account, still active, because Patricia hadn't shut it off yet, and navigated to the company's shared drive. There was a folder named Garden, buried under 3 layers of subdirectories. Inside, Excel spreadsheets, payroll summaries, and a single PDF titled Asterisk, Bridge. Asterisk. I opened it. It was an internal audit report, dated 6 months ago, flagging irregular payroll adjustments in the operations department. The report named no one, but it listed amounts and dates. 54 employees had been underpaid in the last year. Total shortfall, over $200,000. 200,000. My mind raced. This wasn't just about me. This was a company-wide scheme. Someone had been systematically skimming wages, and someone, maybe Laura, maybe the person who left the note, had been collecting the evidence. I screenshotted everything. Then I called David again. "David, I found something." I explained. He went quiet. "Maya, that's a whistleblower case. If you bring that to the labor board, they won't just get you your money. They'll get everyone." Then why didn't anyone come forward before? Fear. You said you're the one who got fired. Maybe they're waiting for someone to start. Someone to start. That was me. But I knew I needed more. I needed someone inside to confirm. I texted Laura the next day, just a simple thanks. She responded with a time and a place, a coffee shop 2 blocks from the office, after work. When I got there, she was already seated, hands wrapped around her cup, eyes darting. She looked like she hadn't slept. "Maya, I can't stay long. They're watching everything." Who's they? Patricia. And Derek. Derek was the CEO. I'd met him twice. He had a kind of smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Why are you doing this?" I asked. She looked down. "Because last month, they shorted me $800. I asked about it. Patricia said it was a performance adjustment. I have perfect performance reviews. I knew it was a lie." She took a shaky breath. "Then a friend in IT told me about the Garden folder. He said it's been there for over a year, but nobody's touched it." "Who's your friend?" "I can't tell you. He's scared. But he gave me the access code." She slid a piece of paper across the table. It had a string of characters. "That's the admin password for the old server. It's got the raw payroll data. Every adjustment, every approval, every signature." I looked at the paper. Then at her. "Laura, if they find out." "I know." She swallowed. "But I can't be the only person who knows what's happening. Someone has to stop it." I took the paper. "Thank you." I went home and, that night, logged into the old server. The admin password worked. I found the raw logs, thousands of entries. I sorted them by date, by adjuster, by amount. And I saw it, a pattern of small reductions, always approved by the same name, Patricia's name. But there was something else. Some adjustments were flagged with the code, SF02. I looked up that code in the system manual. It meant Senior Executive Supplement. It was a bonus allocation that was supposed to come from a separate fund. But here it was being drawn from regular payroll, and the shortfall was being passed down to employees. That meant the money wasn't just being pocketed by Patricia. It was going to Derek. And Derek had to know. I had the evidence. I had the logs. I had Laura's testimony if she'd give it. And I had the note, and the folder, and the pattern. But I still didn't have the biggest piece, the audio. I knew Patricia had spoken to Derek about this. I knew because I heard her once, months ago, laughing in the break room. They never check the details. It's free money. I hadn't recorded it. I'd been too shocked. But I knew someone else might have. There were security cameras with audio in the break room. Maybe the footage was still available. I sent a late-night email to the IT support alias, the generic one that went to the help desk, claiming I had forgotten my security credentials and needed access to the camera archive for a compliance audit. I used my old work email, which was still active. They responded within an hour, assuming I still had clearance. I accessed the archive, typed in the date I remembered, and found the footage. Patricia's voice, clear as day. They never checked the details. It's free money. I downloaded it. I had everything. But I still had to decide what to do next. I could go straight to the labor board. I could go to the press. I could leverage it for a settlement. I called David. I have it. All of it. Good. Now don't touch it. We plan our move carefully. If they know you have this, they'll burn everything. I hung up, staring at the files on my screen. 87,000 had turned into a much bigger number. But I knew that wasn't the point. The point was stopping them. The next morning my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Asterisk, they know you've been poking around. Be careful. Asterisk. I typed back. Asterisk, who is this? Asterisk. No reply. An hour later, Patricia called. Maya, we need to talk. Come to the office. Derek wants to see you. I knew a trap when I heard one. But I also knew this was my chance. If they wanted to see me, they were scared. They wanted to offer something or threaten something. I said, I'll be there at 3 p.m. I hung up, grabbed my recorder and thought, this is where the real game begins. Chapter 2, The Trap That Caught the Wrong Person. I walked into the office at 3:01 p.m., exactly 1 minute late. Never show them you're eager. Patricia met me in the lobby, her smile so tight it looked painful. Maya, thank you for coming. Did I have a choice? She didn't answer. Just led me down the hallway to the corner office, the one with the glass walls and the view of downtown. Derek was already inside, leaning back in his chair like he owned everything in sight. Which, technically, he did. Sit. He gestured to a chair. I sat. Patricia stood by the door like a bouncer. I pulled out my phone and placed it on the table, screen up, recording already running. Derek noticed. Maya, you can put that away. We're not going to have a hostile conversation. Then you won't mind it being on. He smiled. It was the smile of a man who'd never been told no. I heard you found some interesting files. Interesting is one word for it. Let me save us both time. He leaned forward. I know you have payroll discrepancies. I know you've been talking to Laura. I know you accessed the server archive. He spread his hands. And I want to make you a deal. I waited. $20,000. You walk away. You don't file anything. You don't talk to anyone. And we call this resolved. 20,000. Less than a third of what they owed me. And he said it like it was generosity. Derek, I'm owed 87,000. That's just my missing wages. That doesn't count the illegal termination, the pattern of fraud, or the fact that you've been stealing from 54 other employees. His smile flickered. You don't have proof of that. I have the garden folder. I have the audit report. I have the server logs. I paused. And I have a recording of Patricia saying it's free money. Patricia's face went pale. That's not admissible. Actually, it is. I turned to her. And even if it wasn't, the server logs are. Every adjustment approved under your name, every shortfall tagged SF02, that's the executive supplement code, right? The one that transfers employee wages into Derek's bonus pool. Derek's jaw tightened. You've done your homework. I've done my job. Which is more than I can say for you. Silence. The air conditioning hummed. Then Derek laughed, a short, ugly sound. You think this is a game, Maya? You think a labor board complaint is going to bring down this company? I think it's going to make a lot of people very angry. And I think the press loves stories about executives stealing from their employees. Press, he stopped. You wouldn't. Try me. He leaned back, studying me. I could see the calculation happening behind his eyes. Threat didn't work. Money didn't work. What was left? I'll double it, he said. 40,000. Cash. Today. 87,000 is what you owe me. Plus a year's severance for wrongful termination. Plus damages. We're at over 200,000 now. Maya, don't be unreasonable. I'm not being unreasonable. I'm being accurate. There's a difference. Patricia stepped forward. You're making a huge mistake. You don't know what you're up against. Then tell me. She and Derek exchanged glances. Something passed between them, recognition, maybe, or fear. Patricia, Derek said quietly, get out. She hesitated, then walked out, pulling the door shut behind her. Derek looked at me. You want to know the truth? I want to know what you're about to offer me. I'm not offering anything. I'm telling you what happens if you go through with this. He leaned forward, elbows on the desk. You lose. The company files for bankruptcy. The employees get nothing because the creditors take everything. Your arbitration judgment becomes worthless because there's no money left to pay it. And I walk away clean because I've got assets offshore and a golden